29 minutes now after the hour. President Trump is defending military strikes against alleged drug boats while continuing to not rule out the possibility of ground strikes in Venezuela.
I can say this. I want those boats taken out. And if we have to, we'll attack on land also, just like we attack on sea. And there's very little coming in by sea. I think we've knocked out over 90% of it.
Also, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth explains what he knew about the second controversial strike that has led Democrats to accuse him of war crimes.
It's to matter, not arrest and hand over and then do it again. I watched that first strike live. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do. And by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat, eliminate the threat.
So let's bring in former Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates. Great to see you, Victoria.
Good to see you, Brian.
Democrats are jumping all over this as a political message, but were they against the double tap strikes with Obama? Because he had to do it multiple times. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch were upset from his 8 years in office when he took out over 560 terrorists with drone strikes, many of which we didn't get the first time. He had to go back a second time. Why are they upset now?
No, that appears to now be distant history with Obama. We've forgotten all about that. And I think what they're trying to do is justify that crazy video that the Democrats put out 10 days ago, trying to say that the president and Secretary Hegseth were issuing illegal orders. And so now they're retrospectively going back and saying, oh, well, look what happened here. And that makes what we did okay. It's not okay. Not going to get upset with Pete Hegseth because he was too mean to the narco-terrorists. This threat has to be eliminated. These people are killing American citizens. That's what the president's focused on.
The biggest disappointment is so-called military people like Senator Mark Kelly sees as pure politics, instead of understanding, I'm sure he missed a few times in his 35-plus strikes and might have go back to finish the job that he did in battle, and we salute him for that. Maduro, in the New York Times today, it says Maduro wants to outlast Trump. He says he's got his personal bodyguards. He never sleeps in the same place. He doesn't use cell phones. Does he, by outlasting, is there a risk if Maduro survives looking like he beat America?
Well, there's always a risk, but I think Maduro's in an increasingly precarious position here. And so he's losing a lot of assets in Venezuela. Their refinery, Citgo, in Houston, is being auctioned off at essentially a sheriff's sale to satisfy their debtors. They're going to run out of money. So on top of everything else he faces, the country is really circling the drain.
So here's Marco Rubio yesterday on the deal that could be cut or not cut. Watch.
We're going to do everything we can to make it work. That's what we've been doing for 10 months. That's been our aim and our goal here the entire time. I think we've made some progress. We've gotten closer, but we're still not there. We're still not close enough. But that could change. I hope it changes.
Right. And they had a conversation, and evidently the president said, you got to go. You can go with your family, but that's it, and leave. So hopefully the CIA is doing some great work on the ground. After 5 hours in Moscow, our delegation with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff said there was they had made some progress, but Vladimir Putin is really not giving in on any of his points. He wasn't even happy with the 28 points that were so pro-Russian. Your thoughts about where this is heading?
Yeah, we're down to 19 points at this point. And I think, the president correctly wants to get the situation in Ukraine resolved so we can focus on things like Venezuela and get after that problem, which much more directly impacts the American people. So hopefully, the big sticking point appears to be that eastern boundary of what's going to be the border between Ukraine and Russia. That's always going to be the hardest thing for the Ukrainians to figure out what they can give up. But, Brian, the key thing here is for Europe to stand up here and become an active player in all of this. They have to get off the Russian gas. They say they're going to do it by late 2027. No, they should do it tomorrow. Stop paying for this war on European soil. And then also they have to make that 5% commitment that they made in The Hague in April of GDP for defense. And if Europe does that, the European national economy is worth $20 trillion a year. Russia's $2 trillion. If they make their 5%, that takes care of the Russian problem. It's on them.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Vladimir Putin really has nowhere to go, so he's going to stick this out as long as he can, I guess. We'll see. We'll get more details throughout the day. Victoria Coates, thanks so much.